noticed you like potato chips.
Potato chips and variety go hand in hand. However, sometimes snackers like to put aside the barbecue and dill pickle and enjoy the original king of the potato chip kingdom. Good old plain, nothing fancy. See where your favorite ranks.
Best flavor of potato chip?
Terra Blues.
I said pass the potato chips.
Potato chips. Who made them? Who cares? The important thing is that the salty king of snacks is here to stay. Now, when it comes to potato chips, there are, of course, countless brands to choose from. Brands have been trying to put their spin on the potato chip since its invention. You know, a tube instead of a bag, like Pringles introduced, or waves and ridges, like Ruffles. So naturally, the next snack gimmick would be a vibrant color. You know, something other than the yellowish white of the standard potato chip. That's where Terra's line of blue potato chips comes in. The brand uses blue potatoes, which are naturally blue and have a denser texture than standard potatoes. The chips also have a slightly nutty flavor.
What's that nutty flavor?
Which makes for a chip-eating experience that is, in a word, unforgettable. Oh, and don't worry if you find yourself overindulging a bit, because Terra Blues are lower in fat than average chips. So munch away and worry about the possibility of blue-stained teeth later.
Blue.
7-Eleven Select Original.
Kick things up a notch.
When it comes to convenience stores, none are as iconic as 7-Eleven. The world-famous chain first popped up on the scene almost 100 years ago, starting life as the Southland Ice Company, and has been filling the bellies of hungry patrons ever since. Everything from Slurpees to hot dogs to even pizza.
Unhealthy food in 7-Eleven.
The super chain has just about everything your hungry heart can imagine, even its own brand of chips. Yes, 7-Eleven Select chips come in both potato and tortilla, and are, according to the chain itself, crispy, crunchy, and seasoned just right. 7 Select are crafted with #1 grade potatoes and are quite capable of supporting loads of dips. So don't hesitate to pull a George Costanza and go in for a double dip. All the classic flavors are accounted for, like all dressed, at least in Canada, sea salt and vinegar, and the not-so-common jalapeno and cheddar. But the original classic potato chip is the topic of the day, and 7 Select serves up classic salty and crunchy just right.
I want to stop at 7-Eleven.
Siete kettle-cooked chips.
And some Kettle chips would be nice!
At this point, it's safe to say that kettle-cooked chips are not only delicious, but also a solid contender to sit atop the chip throne. And it's not difficult to see why. The crunch, thickness, and overall unique experience are enough to turn most chip lovers away from the classic variety, at least for a moment. With that said, it's no surprise that many brands have popped up over the years, offering the thick and crispy kettle chips for those who want a heftier, more solid snack. Siete just so happens to be one of those brands, offering up their version of the kettle chip. Siete kettle-cooked chips not only have the thick crunchiness associated with the method of cooking, but the brand also offers up some unique flavors. Flavors like queso, chile lime, and for those who want a fiery mouth experience, fuego.
Too spicy.
Obviously, Siete has a plain chip that's worth trying. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about them, right? With that in mind, Siete's kettle-cooked plain chips put a little Latin flair on an American classic, with the perfect dash of salt and crunch in every bite. Plus, labels such as gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan-friendly, and non-GMO are always a great selling point, making sure no one has to miss out on snack time.
It's snack time, not Black Friday.
Boulder Canyon.
Lots of potato chips.
These days, healthier eating is something that's on a lot of people's minds before diving headfirst into the snack cupboard. So if that's the case, Boulder Canyon manages to stand out among the overcrowded chip market by offering a healthier chip, while still maintaining the most important part of any chip, taste. To accomplish such a bold task, the brand uses both olive and avocado oils in the frying process, which not only results in a healthier chip, but also gives Boulder Canyon its distinct flavor, so double bonus. The brand has been frying up twists on familiar flavors for 30 years at this point, such as Dijon barbecue and malt vinegar.
So many options.
But luckily, Boulder Canyon's natural plain chips also pack mountains of flavor. The classic comes in in reduced salt for those looking to snack without the worry of the large dose of sodium that usually accompanies a potato chip binge. And don't worry about the crunch factor because the brand's natural chips are kettle cooked, which means that satisfying crunch is always present. Boulder Canyon also offers Canyon Poppers, a corn-based snack, but that's a story for a different video.
More snacks! More snacks!
First time here? Well, put down that handful of chips and take a second to hit that subscribe button. Thanks. Now back to the rankings.
Thank you.
Cape Cod kettle cooked chips.
Go to Cape Cod.
If you thought there was only a select few out there kettle cooking their potato chips, you'd, of course, be wrong. In fact, kettle cooked chips are about as commonplace as the traditional variety. The thick and crispy variety of chip has become a welcome treat in the eyes of many potato chip enthusiasts. And Cape Cod's version of the snack is right up there with the best of the kettle-cooked sliced spuds. Using choice potatoes and cutting them extra thick, Cape Cod chips offer a unique experience with every bite. The brand's kettle-cooked chips also have 40% less oil than other brands, so when you feel the need to snack, you don't have to feel guilty while doing so. The brand claims that no two chips are alike.
Unique individual.
And while many of the rival chip brands could claim the same, it's the taste of the chip that matters most. Cape Cod's many flavors include salt and vinegar, aged cheddar and sour cream, and roasted black garlic, to name a few. But the Cape Cod Classic kettle-cooked chip is as crispy and delicious as you can get, with thickly sliced choice potatoes, perfectly balanced saltiness, and less fat than the other brands. So how can you go wrong? You can't! Oh, and for those folks wanting nothing to do with the regular sliced potato chips, Cape Cod also offers both waffle cut and waved, because variety is the spice of life.
I really love kettle chips.
Pringles.
Pringles are for champions only.
Not all potato chips are created equal. Great taste and overall snackiness, if that's even a word, aren't the only things needed to be a big-time player in the world of snack treats. You sometimes need an extra something to stand out. Standing out from the potato pack with its never-before-seen tube packaging and unique flavors, Pringles first popped up on the convenience store and supermarket shelves back in the peace and love era that was the late 1960s. Over the years, Pringles has managed to keep up with the ever-changing fickle nature of modern potato chip connoisseurs by offering a myriad of delicious, fun, and in some cases, very interesting flavors.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
The brand offers familiar flavors such as sour cream and onion, salt and vinegar, barbecue, and other guaranteed hits, along with the not-so-common flavors like cheddar cheese, pizza, and loaded baked potato. However, a chip brand has to have a solid foundation before venturing off into strange and tasty places, and that solid foundation is the plain chip. Luckily, Pringles Plain not only brought them to the spud dance, it continues to be a salty reminder that the original is still a bona fide hit. Pringles Original Plain chips are loaded with the perfect amount of salt and crispiness, but are a bit of an outlier when it comes to the taste and texture, as the chips have been described as a bit waxy and artificial. Regardless of some snackers' opinions, there's no denying the instant feeling of nostalgia once you feast your eyes on that bright red tube. After all, their slogan is, "Once you pop, you can't stop," for a reason.
Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Kettle brand chips.
Kettle chips. The perfect side dish.
Much like package innovation and fun shapes, chip brands occasionally deviate from the norm and try something entirely different. In the case of Kettle brand, they've made a certain method of cooking their selling point, and chip lovers wouldn't have it any other way. Kettle brand started offering the chip-loving public its brand of deliciously crispy potato chips over 40 years ago. Using extra thick-cut potatoes and the kettle cooking method, the brand produces some of the crispiest potato chips on the market. Gone are the days of subpar crunch and broken potato chip crumbs. Kettle brand chips are hefty enough to withstand almost anything, except those pearly whites of yours.
My teeth!
Of course, a multitude of flavors is to be expected with any chip brand, and Kettle has all your favorites. Classic flavors like salt and vinegar and more exotic flavors such as Parmesan garlic are all well and good, but we all know that to be a serious chip brand, that the original plain has to be a lip-smacking hit. Kettle brand's original plain packs in the ultra-crispy, perfectly salted taste that has been responsible for creating a large and unwavering fan base for the brand. Kettle likes to say that their chips are extra in a good way. You'll likely find that most chip lovers will not argue with the brand's bold statement. Oh, and if the thick and crispiness of Kettle's chips wasn't enough, they also offer crinkle cut, because the chip in the second spot has been a little too comfortable for far too long.
I'm coming for you.
Her's.
And live life with flavor.
Does a sizzling Philly cheesesteak, lip-smacking barbecue pulled pork, or flaming ghost pepper make your mouth water? Sure it does. Well, if you can't get enough of any of these and you fancy yourself a chip lover, then Her's has all the bases covered. Her's may not be as popular as the mega Frito-Lay brands, but the chip juggernaut has been holding its own for more than 70 years. The potato chips are what the brand is best known for. Her's also produces a wide variety of other snacks such as cheese curls, pretzels, tortilla chips, and popcorn. However, all the fancy flavors and other tasty products aside, without a fantastic plain chip, what do you have? Not much. So fortunately, Her's original plain is not only what brought the famous brand to the dance, it's responsible for making the company one of the top players in the potato chip market. Her's crispy and tasty original have both a mouth-watering texture thanks to the premium potatoes the brand uses and just the right amount of salty goodness. Tasty. Which is sure to please most chip lovers. Unfortunately, the brand isn't available worldwide, mostly found in the eastern regions of the USA and parts of Canada. So if you can't find these on the shelves near you, then you'll have to get in your car and make that drive to Buffalo to grab a bag of original Her's.
Get in the car!
Ruffles.
And Ruffles have ridges.
Do you find yourself jaded or bored while snacking? Well, every now and then, the snack brands decide that the snackers of the world need a little something extra. The chip world is no exception, and when it comes to deviating from the norm, one chip brand decided to ruffle the feathers of snackers in the best way possible. Ruffles are the perfect mix of fun and flavor, with each of the chip's signature ruffled edges setting you up perfectly for scooping up copious amounts of dip if you fancy yourself a chip dipper. Ruffles ridges have been tantalizing chip fans for well over 70 years, and while the popular brand is known for some classic flavors like the standard barbecue and sour cream and onion, the classic plain continues to be a crowd-pleasing go-to. The original Ruffle does seem to pack more of a salt punch than other well-known chip brands, so do remember to have a beverage next to you during snack time. Ruffles must be doing something right if they've managed to become the official chip of the NBA.
Ruffles have ridges. I have ridges.
Lay's.
Ole, sole, sole.
No matter how many brands, flavors, and snack gimmicks come along, most chip lovers eventually gravitate back to that iconic yellow bag of goodness, Lay's. Lay's chips have been satisfying snackers for over 90 years, if you can wrap your head around that. As you'd expect, the famous brand has introduced enough flavors to keep chip lovers coming back for more every time. Classic flavors like sour cream and onion and barbecue are all par for the course, but the brand has been known to deviate from the familiar and experiment with unusual flavors over the years. Some of the more exotic flavors include Spanish tomato tango, magic masala, and even seafood and mayonnaise over in the Philippines.
That's a really interesting flavor.
However, if Lay's original plain chips were not a beloved household snack, the company would never have been able to dabble in the delicious and often unusual flavor experiments to begin with. Yes, Lay's originals have it all when it comes to potato chips. Crunch? Check. Flavor? Yeah. Salt? Of course. In fact, Lay's yellow bag of joy has most definitely been in the pantry, lunchbox, or hidden snack cupboard of the majority of chip fans across the planet, and it's not hard to figure out why. Oh, and for those of you who live in the UK and Ireland wishing you too can enjoy the crispy, salty goodness of Lay's, you likely have without realizing it, as the Walker's crisp brand is the Lay's for those across the pond. As Mark Messier once said, I bet you can't eat just one, and no one's gonna take that bet.
Only a fool bets on the pros.
Hungry for more? Of course you are, so go ahead and stay right here to check out another great video.